Good morning to all my students out there and welcome to the new lecture of the business studies. And I know that you people are sitting at home enjoying the winters because winters will also come and it is safe to be stay at home. Already you know that how the situation is. It's better to be safe at home. So we all are saying you to avoid to go out from your homes. Not to go, but we are not saying that avoid your studies and the books. You can't avoid it because it's also going to be the end of your session. We are already on the month of the December here. You should, whatever you are doing, you should now double your hard work and your efforts. You should put more efforts, double your efforts to practice all these things because your subject needs a lot of practices, as I always say to you. So if you have any problem, then we all are there with you. Anytime you can discuss your query with us. It doesn't mean that we are just reaching on the screen. We all are connected with each other. So today, as our topic is very important because it is dealing with the financial markets. So initially when the financial market, the word market comes, what comes in your mind? It means there is a place where there is one seller and one buyer. You know all that. You also going to the market for purchasing. So it means the market is a place where the buyer and the seller both come together. So here also there is a little difference that here we are not going to the market for purchase of the garments or any clothes or anything else, but it is a market which is related with the money, which is related with the finance, and it is related with the businessman, or you can say the person or a group where the person want to save their money. So it is actually there is a two group. One who is one group who want to invest their money, who want to save their money because they have surplus, and the other group which is deficit of the money. They can be the businessman, the companies, because in the business every day there is a deficit of money because actually money is the key factor, or the finance is the key factor of any, you can say, any acceleration of the business. So every day there is a need of money. Nobody, no company, no businessman can say that no, I don't need the money. Every day for the every state of affairs for the business, the money is needed. That's why this group is called the deficit group. So here we are going to study the finance, the market which is related with the finance. What is the whole scenario of the financial market? What are these markets are, and how you are going to deal with these markets? How there are different segments of market which is related with the financial market. You are going to study. Also, I just want to give you the snapshot of it. We are going to study in our this lecture the concept and nature of the markets. Again, we will try to understand the types and the classification of market, how the financial market works. Then we will also move to the very important segment, that is the stock market, or also we will talk about the SEBI. SEBI is a Stock Exchange Board of India, and as a commerce student, you must know, you must have a knowledge about what is SEBI, how the market, how these stock markets operate, because in this field also you will have so many options to do the business, and as a broker you can excel your business. So there are also, I want to say that there are also so many, you can say, the lines, the professional lines you can adopt. You can take it as your profession. So it's better to understand what it's all about. It's not just for your study, it is for your benefit. It is going to be benefit for your future if you are going to going on in this side. So here, what do we mean by financial market. The concept is it is a link between the surplus and deficit unit. Market bring together the lender and the borrower. As I have also explained you, there is a two group, that is one is a surplus and other one is a deficit. So it means it is a link between market is a link between the deficit group and the surplus group. It bring together these two. So we can also say that the market bring together the lender and the borrower. So how this phenomena take place? With the help of this flow chart, I just want to explain you that there is a business firm which is you can say it is a deficit group, deficit unit, and it is a household sector, or you can say the surplus group. So these are the two groups. Always the deficit unit or a deficit group want the money, as because these are concerned with the business, they always need a money. So this deficit group either go for the bank for the loans and for the funding and for the finance, or they will go to the financial market. So financial market means it is a market where the deficit group and the surplus group come together. So from the bank, it is, you all know how to raise a loan from the bank, but in the financial market you are to invest in the securities of the company. So it means when the businessman or a surplus group go to the financial market, they have in the financial market there is a business firm or the deficit group. There is also the household sector or the surplus unit. So that's why it is called financial market is a place where the surplus and the business firm or the deficit firm come together. So this is all about your financial market. So we can say that financial market is a link between the saver and the borrower. This market transfer the money or the capital from those who have surplus money to those who are in need of the investments. So generally the investor are called the surplus unit and the business enterprise are called the deficit unit. So financial market transfer money supply from surplus unit to the deficit unit. Financial market act as a link between the surplus and deficit unit and bring together the borrower and the lender. So this is all about the concept and of the financial market. So we can say that what are the functions. With the help of this, we can also come out with what is the function of financial market. So first function is that is a mobilizing of saving and channelizing them into the most productive uses. As there is a household, there is a surplus unit. If they have the enough money to be invest or to be saved, they can put your money in this option. So we can say that financial market act as a link between the saver and the investors. Financial market transfer saving to savers to most appropriate investment opportunities. Here, if the saver is just putting the money into the bank, it will not grow as compared to the financial market, because here the financial market actually give you the opportunity to grow your money more and more. That is only you require the enough information, you require the good information about how to put your money into the good security. Next is the facilitate price discovery. Price of anything depend upon the demand and supply factor. Demand and supply of the financial assets and security in the financial market help in deciding the price. If the demand of some security is high, ultimately the price of that security will go high. Next is the provide liquidity of financial assets. Also, it's a very important advantage of financial market that if an investor want to invest their money into the stock market or purchasing the security, and when they need, they can sell their security to the other person. With this way, they can also maintain their liquidity. When and then they want the cash, they can sell the security. When and then they want to invest in the their money, they can buy the security. So we can say that in the financial market, the financial security can be bought and sold easily. So financial market provide the platform to convert the security into the cash. Now, next is the reduce the cost of transactions. It means financial market provide the complete information regarding price, availability and cost of various financial security. So, investor and a company do not have spent much time on getting this information as it is already available in the financial market. So, everything is there. You need to just analyze which is best for you on the basis of cost also. So these are all the function of financial market. Come to the classification of the market. So for the classification, with the help of this flow chart, you can understand what is the financial market all about. Here the financial market has two sides or two types. One is the capital market and the other one is the money market. Money market is a short-term market which deal with the call money, treasury bill, commercial papers, then the certificate of the deposit. It actually deals with the bankers. These kind of transactions actually deal with different kinds of banks, and it lies between the transaction between the banks actually. Also we can have, because it is a short-term securities, we are dealing here the short-term securities. Now next is the capital market. Capital market again has two domains. First is the primary market, second one is the secondary market. Both primary and the secondary market both deal with the equities and the debt. Both deal with the equities and debt. So this is all about the format of your financial market. So financial market has first is the capital market and the second one is the money market. Capital market is again divided into the two, that is the primary market and the secondary market. So you can say that what is the money market? First of all, we will concentrate on the money market. What are the money market? So money market is, you can say, money market is a market for short-term funds. Short-term fund for need the use of a period up to the 1 year. Generally, money market is the source of finance for working capital. Transaction of money market include lending and borrowing of the cash for the short period of time, and also sale and purchase of security having 1 year from which gets redeemed within the 1 year period. Money market is not a fixed geographical area, but it is constituted of all the organization and institution which deal with the short-term debts. So the common institution or institutes of are Reserve Bank of India, State Bank of India, other commercial banks, LIC, GIC, Unit Trust of India, which is called UTI. These many of these institutions deal with the telephone and with the fax only. So we can say with the help of that we can have that the money market is actually a short-term market. No geographical locations. Major institutions which involved in the money market are RBI, SBI, LIC, GIC, UTI. And actually, what are the common instruments of the money market? We have already discussed that: call money, treasury bill, commercial papers, and certificate of deposit. So one by one we will going to discuss it. So what do we mean by the call money? The money borrowed or lent on demand for the short period, which is generally 1 day. It is generally for the 1 day. Sundays and other holidays are excluded from the purpose. Mostly banks use call money when one bank faces a temporary shortage of the cash. Then the bank will surplus cash lent to bank in a shortage for the 1 or 2 days. So call money is called interbank call money market. But even other organizations such as insurance company, mutual fund company, etc. also deal with the call money. It is a market over the telephone. The maturity period of call money is extremely short and its liquidity is just next to the cash. So most of the time banks require call money to meet the minimum requirement of the CRR, which is called the cash reserve ratio. The interest paid on call money is called call rate. It is very volatile rate which varies from day to day and sometimes from hour basis. There is an inverse relation between the rate of interest of call money and other securities. As when rate of interest of the call money increases, the other securities become cheap. Now, next is the treasury bill. What is the treasury bill? The treasury bill are issued by the Reserve Bank of India on behalf of the Government of India. These bills enable government to get short-term borrowing, as well as these bills are sold by the bank and general public. So these bills are negotiable instruments and are freely transferable. These are issued by at discount. These are considered safest investment, and there are issued by RBI. The maturity period of treasury bill varies from the 14 days to the 360 days. So treasury bill are actually issued by the RBI. So it is the safest way to invest the money. And also you can say the treasury bill are also called a zero coupon bond. They are issued at a price lower than the face value. Lower than the face value means that and repaid at par. It means there is the availability of minimum amount of 25% in the multiple thereof. So you can deal with the multiple of 25,000 of the rupees. So for example, suppose investment purchase 3 months treasury bill with a face value of 2 lakh for rupees 1,90,000. By holding the bill till maturity period, he will get 2 lakh, and difference between the bill amount and the amount paid to the purchase the bill is the interest received by him. So that 10,000 become the rate of the interest rate of the bill. Now come to the commercial bills. Now commercial bills are actually written on each other. When the two businessmen are there together, you have also studied about in the bill of exchange that for the betterment, for the convenience of each other, the two businessmen can draw the bill on each other. These are called commercial bills. So trade bill or accommodation bill are bills drawn by one business firm on the another. These are common instruments used by the credit purchase of the sale. These have short-term maturity period, generally 90 days, and can be discounted with the bank even before the maturity period. These are negotiable instruments and can be easily transferred. The drawing of the bill honors the bill on the due date. So we can say these are the accommodation bill, and it is actually made for accommodate each other, and it can be easily discounted at the bank before the maturity. So you can take the advantage of that fund. Next is the commercial papers. Now next is the commercial paper. So the commercial paper was introduced in India for the first time in 1990, and it is an unsecured promissory notes issued by the public or the private sector companies with the fixed maturity period, which varies from 3 to 12 months. Since commercial paper are unsecured, so they can be issued by a company having good reputation and credit worthiness. So the commercial banks and mutual funds are the main investors of commercial papers. So it's very also important whenever you want to invest in it, you should be see that these commercial papers are actually issued by the reputed or the government bodies. Now next is the certificate of deposit, which is called CD. Now it is the time or deposit. It is a time or deposit which can be sold in a secondary market. Only the bank can issue the certificate of deposit. It is a bearer certificate or document of title. It is also a negotiable instrument and can be transferred easily. So the certificate of deposit is issued by a bank against the deposit kept by the company and institution. The time deposit, the time Period of the certificate of deposit ranges from 91 days to the 1 year, and banks are not allowed to discount these documents. So this is all about all your money market. What are the components of money market? Now moving to the capital market. What is the capital market? So capital market is the market for the medium and the long term funds. It includes all the organization, institution and instruments that provide long term and medium term loans for the fund. It does not include the instrument or the institutions which provide finance and short term for the short term period. So we can say that the capital market is related with the long term as well as for the medium term loans. So now what is the nature or a feature of capital market? Before the feature, I just want to quote a definition also, that capital market can be defined as a mechanism which channelizes saving into the investment or productive uses. So capital market allocate the capital resources amongst alternative uses. So it intermediate flow for saving of those who save a part of their income from those who want to invest in the productive assets. So this is the definition of the capital market. Now with the help of this we can also have some features of capital market. So that first is the link between the saver and investor opportunities. Yes, it is the capital market is a link where there are the saver who are just searching for investing their money, and there is also the you can say the investment. You can say the saver and investment opportunities. So it means it is actually the process where you can save your money with a way of investing your money to some stipulated securities. Now, deal in the long-term investments. Capital market provide fund for long-term, medium term, and it does not deal with the channelizing saving for less than 1 year. For less than 1 year, there is a money market, and more than 1 year, or you can say the medium term loan, and for the long term you should go for the capital market. Now next is the utilizes intermediaries. Capital market uses the different intermediaries such as the broker, underwriters, depositories, etc. These intermediaries act as a working organ of the capital market and are very important element of the capital market. So it means for dealing with the capital market, you also need the intermediaries, which is called the underwriters, or you can say the brokers, because without the help of them, you cannot pursue in the capital market. You cannot deal with the capital market. Next is the government rule and regulation. The capital market operates freely, but under the guidance of the government policies. These market function within the framework of the government rule and regulation. Stock exchange work under the regulation of SEBI, that is called the Stock Exchange Board of India, is a government body. So we have, with the help of that, we have that an idea of capital market is that where finance is available at reasonable cost, which facilitate economic growth. The capital market, where the market operation are free, fair, competitive and transparent. Capital market provides sufficient information to investors. It must allocate capital productivity. So these are all about the capital market. Now come to the primary market. We are going to the primary market. Now what is the primary market? Primary market is also known as a new issue market. In this market, securities are sold for the first time. That is the new securities are issued from the company. So primary market directly contribute in the capital formation, because in a primary market company gets direct to investor and utilize their fund for the investment in the building, plant and machinery. So what are the method of flotation of securities in the primary market? First is the public issue through prospectus. First is the public issue by prospectus. Second one is the offer for sale, then private placement, also the right issue and the e-IPOs. These are the method through which the new IPOs float in the market. So first is the public issue through prospectus. Under this method, the company issues the prospectus to inform and attract the general public. In prospectus, company provide details about the purpose of for which the funds are being raised, and past financial performance of the company, background and future prospect of the company. So information on prospect help the public to know about the risk and earning potential of the company, and accordingly they decide whether to invest or not in the company. So we can say that the prospectus is actually the blueprint where everything is available. You can see that what are the prospects of the company, what are their future plannings and objective, and what are their past performances. So sometimes the company involves the intermediaries such as bankers, brokers, underwriters to raise capital from the general public. So next is your offer for sale. Now under this method the new securities are offered to general public but not directly by the company, but by the intermediary who buys whole lot of security from the company. Generally the intermediaries are the form of brokers. So sale of security take place in the two steps. First, when the company issues the securities to the intermediaries at the face value, and the second when the intermediaries issue the security to the general public at higher price to earn profit. Under this method the company is saved from the formalities and complexities of issuing the securities directly to the public. So here there is a two-step. The company is not directly go to the investor but to the general public, but here there is a one intermediary, that is a broker. The company actually sell the lots of the securities in the lots to the broker, and then broker again sell it to the general public. Private placement. The third method is a private placement. Under this method the securities are sold by the company to an intermediary at a fixed price, and in a second step intermediaries sell the security not to the general public but to the selected client at the higher rate. The issuing company issue prospectus to give detail about its objective. So future prospects so that the reputed clients prefer to buy the security from the intermediaries. Under this method the intermediaries issue the securities to selected clients such as the UTI, LIC or general insurance. So it means there is a two more steps. One, the issuing company, then the broker, then broker sell to their different clients. The clients may be the UTI, the mutual funds or LIC, etc. So in this way the private placement is going on. So the private placement method is a cost saving method. As company is saved from the expenses of underwriter fees, manager fees, agents commission, listing of the company's name in the stock exchange, etc. So small and new companies prefer private placement as they cannot afford to raise from the public issue. Next is the right issue or existing company. For the existing company, right issue means if the company want to raise its further share, it is the preemptive first priority of the existing shareholder to offer the shares. So it means we can say this is the issue of a new share for existing shareholder. It is called the right issue because it is a preemptive right of the shareholder that company must offer them a new issue before subscribing to outsider. Each shareholder has the right to subscribe for the new issue in the proportion of the share he already hold. The right issue is mandatory for the company Companies Act under the 1956. The stock exchange does not allow the existing company to go for new issue without giving preemptive right to existing shareholder, because if new share is directly issued to the new subscriber, then the existing shareholder may lose their share in the capital and control of the company. So it is according to the act, it is a very important right of the existing shareholder that whenever the company going to raise its share further in the market, it It's a priority to us to the existing shareholder about to purchase the share. Next, that is the EIPO, Electronic Initial Public Offering. So, Electronic Initial Public Offering, it is a new method of issuing the security through a one-line system of stock exchange. In this, company has to appoint a registered broker from the purpose of accepting the application and placing the order. The company issued security has to apply for listing of its security on one exchange other than the exchange it has offered its security earlier. So the manager coordinate the activity through various intermediaries connected with the issue. So this is all about your primary market. Now moving to the secondary market. Now secondary market is also known as the stock exchange. Now secondary market is also known as a stock exchange. Now what is the secondary market? It is a more commonly known as second-hand securities market or stock exchange market. In this market, the securities are not directly issued by the company but by existing investors. Here the company not directly go to the connection of the investor. Here already what are already sold out by the company, that second hand securities are actually going on the orbit of the second hand market. This market provides liquidity to primary market and hence contribute indirectly in the capital formation. So what is the meaning of the stock exchange? You must know about it. The Securities Contract and Regulation Act defines the stock exchange as an organization or a body of the individual, whether incorporated or not, established for the purpose of assisting, regulating and controlling a business in buying, selling and dealing of security. That is called the stock exchange and it is a meaning. So we can say that security, it is in the stock exchange, the second hand securities are, we actually deal with the second hand securities. Now what are the function of stock exchange? First is the economic barometer. Stock exchange plays an economic barometer. So stock exchange is reliable barometer to measure the economic condition of the country. Even major changes in a country and economy is reflected in the price of the share. Reflected in the price of the share, the rise or the fall in the share price indicate the boom and recession cycle of economy. So we can say it is actually a barometer. It is just a testing that what is our present economy, what is the status of our present economy. Next is pricing of securities. Stock market helps to value the security on the basis of the demand and supply factor. Security is a profitable and growth oriented. Companies are valued high as there is more demand of such security. So we can say that the company which is more giving the more returns and going on the profitable path have their the rate of their earning per share is more, so their rate will also increase. So it is also the price decider in the market. Safety of transaction in a stock market. Only the listed securities are traded and stock exchange authorities include the company's name in the trade list only after verifying the soundness of the company. So here we can say that we are not dealing with the unauthorized kind of company. Here with the help of the stock exchange we know that all the companies whom we are actually dealing with are listed and they are verified. Next is the contribute to the economic growth. In the stock exchange, securities of various companies are bought and sold. So this process of disinvestment and reinvestment help to invest in a most productive investment proposal, and this lead to the capital formation and economic growth. Next is spreading the equity cult. Equity cult means the saving, you can say the saving practice, or you can say the equity culture. So stock exchange encourages people to invest in ownership security by regulating new issues better trading practices and by educating the people about investment. Next, providing scope of speculations. Now, to ensure the liquidity and demand of the supply of securities, the stock exchange permit the healthy speculation of the securities. One more point, that is liquidity. You can, with the help of the secondary market, you can also maintain your liquidity, because when an investor want to sell their security easily, the investor can sell their security, and when any investor want to invest in the security, they can easily buy the shares of any of the company who is growing. Next is the better allocation of capital. The share of the profit making companies are quoted at higher price and are actively traded, so such companies can easily raise fresh capital from the stock market. The general public hesitate to invest in the security of a loss making company. So stock exchange facilitate allocation of the investors fund to the profitable channels. Now, promote the habit of saving and investment. Also, secondary market plays and encourages the people because it promotes the habit of saving and investment. So, the stock market offer attractive opportunity to the investment in various securities. These attractive opportunities encourage people to save more and invest in security of corporate sector rather than investing in unproductive assets such as gold and silver. So this is all about the features of the stock market. Now come to the trading procedure. What is actually the trading procedure in the stock market? You should know about that. You cannot trade or you cannot buy or sell your security without the middleman, that is a broker. There must be the presence of broker. With the help of broker, you can buy and sell your security. So before selling the security through the stock exchange, the companies have to get their securities listed in the stock exchange. The name of the companies, including the listed securities, only the stock exchange authorities, which is called the SEBI, are satisfied with the financial soundness and other aspects of the company. So here you can have that there must be the presence of the investor, there must be the presence of depository participant and also the depository. So depository participant is kind of the broker who is actually a link between the banker and the investor, or you can say it is actually dealing with all the dealing related with the investment of the investors. So we can see that first you are to select the broker, then you are to go for opening the demat account. Without the demat account, you cannot do your trading, because in a present era, all the stock exchange or the stock markets are getting computerized. So you, before dealing with the securities, you must have the demat account, which is called demat, means the dematerialized account. It means it is everything is being done in the digital way. Your cash as well as all your securities are being placed in the digital way. Next, then you have your demat account. Now you are ready to place the order. When you place the order, you have to intimate to your broker. With the help of that, you can execute your order. The broker actually executes your order, and then when the execution of your order is done, then the time comes when it is a settlement of all the things, which is called, this means actual transfer of securities. This is the last stage of the trading of securities done by the broker on behalf of the client. There can be two types of settlement, that on the spot settlement and also forward settlement. Now come to the next, that is the constituents of the depository system. As we have already know that whenever you want to deal with the stock market, you want to purchase a share, you must have the three component, that is the depository, then the depository participant and the investor. Two more things, the demat account and also the issuing company. So issuing company is a company who is actually raising the share in the market. There also be the presence of that company. Then you need the depository. Depository is a bank where all your securities and your money is to be kept. But you cannot directly go to the bank for your dealing. There must be the middleman, which is called the depository participant. And depository participant is actually the broker who actually catering your all your needs and also linking with the bank or a depository. So, and also the way of doing and the source of doing all the businesses on the basis of the demat account. You must have the demat account in you. So, after that we will move to the stock exchange. All these things, all your stock exchange, all your purchase and sale is actually doing in the stock market. So here in the stock market, you need so many things that what are you will going to know about what is the benefit of the Reliance Stock Exchange. What are the benefit of Reliance Stock Exchange? Before that, you must have the stock indices. What is the meaning of the stock exchange indices? We have the two. That is, one is the Sensex, the other one is the Nifty. You must be listen these two words. That one is the Sensex and also the other one is the Nifty. So Sensex means it is a Bombay Stock Exchange Index. It is calculated by taking price of 30 stock across a key sector of the BSE, that is the Bombay Stock Exchange. And Nifty is actually, this is a national stock exchange index. It is calculated by taking price of 50% key stocks listed by the NSE. Now, so some benefit of the Reliance Stock Exchange. First is the demutualization and other is the dematerialization. What is the benefit of the Reliance Stock Exchange? First is the demutualization. Now, earlier on the intermediaries, broker used to own, control and manage the stock exchange. So this ownership and management of stock exchanges by broker often led to the conflict in the interest between the broker and the client. To solve this problem, government did demutualization of the stock exchange. And demutualization referred to the separation of the ownership and the control of stock exchange from the trading right of the members. Through the demutualization, there is a reduction in the chances of the broker using stock exchange for the personal gain. So, in the previous time, actually broker used to take the advantage of all the proceeding which is related with the investor. So, just because of the mutualization, so the government and the SEBI, with the help of the SEBI, they actually convert it into the demutualization. Next is the dematerialization. So a share certificate is a proof of ownership of the security by an individual. In purchase and sale of the securities, share certificate are transferred, so there are chance of theft, forgery, delay and other problem of the paperwork. To eliminate this problem, an electronic book of the entry from the holding and transferring the security has been introduced. This referred as a dematerialization of security or more commonly used as demat account. That is to transfer the document in material form and transfer shown in the credit and debit the demat account of the security. So we can say that the dematerialization is actually the opening of the demat account. Before this, there were so many problems are facing by the investor just because of all the shares are in a paper form, and that paper can be lost somewhere. That paper can be just because of the forgery or the theft. You can have the loss on that. Just to avoid all these situations which were actually facing by the investor, the dematerialization took place by the efforts of the SEBI or the government, and with this the demat account is very much required. So in the present days whenever you want to do the trading with the securities, you must have the demat account. Even the bank also asks about if you have the account, you have also the opportunity or also the option to open the demat account. And demat account is actually you deal with those accounts, you deal with the securities, which is actually securities like the equities and the preference shares and also the debentures of the company. If you buy or you want to buy or sell share, or if you want to sell the share with the help of only with the help of the demat account, you can do it. That's it. So I think you understand all the logic of your financial market. In the next lecture, we will proceed to the SEBI, that is what is the Security Exchange Board of India. So we will proceed to the next lecture in the next lecture. So I will say the good luck to you for the next lecture. Thank you.